The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I'm a sucker for dynamic fog rolling in for medieval castles. That's where we're going in Horizon Dragons.
Hey, what's up soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Zombies Top 10. This is a weekly series every single Saturday, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 new mistakes in Call of Duty Zombies. These were all commented by you guys on last week's top 10, so without further ado, let's get right into it. But before I do, I just want to say, guys, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you guys are brand new, and also make sure you comment down below the hardest Easter egg step in Call of Duty Zombies, because that's where we're going to be counting down next week. So make sure you guys comment those down below, and without further ado, let's get right into the top 10 new mistakes in Call of Duty Zombies history. The first comment is from Dylan Kreckman, and he says, buying a door that should have been kept shut for high rounds. So yes, there is a lot of doors that can totally mess up your train. One that comes to mind right away for me would definitely be buying the door that goes up the stairs on Kino on the stage, because if you open that door, it's going to cause a bunch of zombies to run in from the side, and it can totally mess up your train completely. So that is definitely one of them. There's a lot of other ones which we're going to be getting into later on in the video with another comment, but it just seems like on every single map there's one door that you need to keep shut, because it's like the primary training spot, and when someone in your game opens that up, it's just game over. You cannot train there. You are going to get screwed over the entire time. So that is definitely a new mistake, buying a door that should have been kept shut the entire freaking game. The next comment is from The Unfortunate Attempt, and he said, new mistake, asking where the box is in the game when you could just look up at the light. So that is definitely a new mistake. I don't understand how people still don't know that you can just look up in the sky and see the light, and that is where the box is going to be. Now there's a lot of people that do this, and they ask and they're like, yo, where's the box? Where do you hit the box? All that stuff. All they need to do is look up in the sky. Now I can understand if you're like inside a map and you can't really see, like for example, if you're down below near the pyramid on Horizon Drag, you want to know where the box is. You can't really look up in the sky because there's a ceiling, so that is understandable. But then there's those people where you're playing in a huge open map, like I don't know, Zetsubo for example, and you can just look up in the sky and see exactly where the box is. So there's a lot of those people. I don't understand how people still have not learned this. We've been playing zombies for 8 years. It's like the primary thing. It's been in there since World at War. It's pretty obvious. The next comment is from Ligwine the Genie, and he said, new mistake, using Perkaholic on the Giant. So that is definitely true, because there's only 6 perks that you can get on the Giant, so it's not really worth using it on the Giant. I would definitely agree with that. And then Crown the Empire responded and said, never use Perkaholic on Ascension. And that is definitely true. Now, using Perkaholic on Ascension is just game over, rip, because the monkeys will come and steal your perks, and you're going to be left with double tap and dead shot, and those are the only 2 perks you're going to be left with, unless you obviously protect the perks. So it's pretty stinking interesting that you guys would comment this, because I definitely agree. Perkaholic is really nice on some good maps where they can't be stolen, but for like using it and wasting it on the Giant, it just doesn't really make sense. And same thing with Ascension, you're gonna pretty much lose all your perks, so you just want to get the essentials like Jug and things like that. The next new mistake is from Fear Reaper 666, and he said, new mistake, running through another player's train, causing not only them but the other player to down. So that is a big issue when it comes to zombies, because people are always thinking they're the greatest trainer of all time, and they're just running around training zombies, and what ends up happening is the people end up cross training, because one player is not that great at training as he thought he was, and that causes not only you to run into a bunch of zombies, but also that person, and then it's just ripped for both of you. So that is definitely a huge issue. It happens all the time on some maps where people think they're just amazing trainers, and honestly, you can't really train in a public match or with other players unless you're in different areas. It's just not going to work out, and you really are going to end up cross training them, and it's just going to get people mad. You're going to be mad because you go down, and also they're going to be mad because they went down, obviously thinking they're the best trainer of all time in Call of Duty Zombies, which they're definitely not. So yeah, that is definitely a new mistake for sure. The next comment is from XXChuggles2XX, and he said, new mistake, not listening to the guy who actually knows what he's doing. So that is definitely 100% true. I remember last summer, and if you guys remember this, you're a legend. There was this guy named A Bit Tight, and I was doing the Shadows of Evil Easter egg with subscribers. This guy did not understand how to do the last step. He kept running to the middle of the map when I was there getting ready to shock the keepers, and I told him multiple times in extreme detail what he needed to do. You need to go into beast mode and shock the box. This guy did not understand what I was saying. I told him the longest time. It took him 45 minutes to actually figure out what he was supposed to do after I literally showed him like 6 times. So there are a lot of reasons why this is 100% a new mistake. You just need to listen. People are trying to help you. If they want to complete an Easter egg, they're going to be able to, you know, explain things to you. Just got to be open to receiving them. Don't think you're the greatest player if you don't know what you're doing. Just listen to other people. They're there to help most of the time, unless they tell you to, you know, shoot the ground when you have a ray gun or something like that, because that's also a new mistake. The next comment is from Zachary Main, and he said the biggest new mistake is killing the last zombie, and we all can agree with this one. Usually when you're doing Easter eggs, you kind of got to save a zombie so you can do a couple steps, because most of the time there are steps required where it's a lot easier if you don't have zombies running around. So that is 100% one of the biggest issues when it comes to, you know, new players or something like that. They're gonna end up killing the last zombie because they don't think it's last, and you know, everyone's done it. There are definitely times when I do it by accident and things like that, but at the same time, it's really something that happens very, very frequently when you're playing with noobs, people who don't really understand zombies and, you know, Easter eggs and that sort of thing. The next comment is from Prosser Friedman, and he said buying the help door unlocked was like committing suicide and wasting cash. So yes, that is the biggest one, of opening a door that is not supposed to be open, like we got before when I talked about the door on the Kino stage. This one is by far the biggest mistake that a noob can make, is buying the help door. That is like really, really, really annoying, and people just don't understand. You can't open that door if you expect to train and get to high rounds. It's just not going to work out in your favor. So I definitely agree with that one. The next one is from Mini the Night Productions, and he says new mistake, trying to train in Area 51 on Moon in a public match while everyone else is waiting to teleport. So yeah, whenever you play Moon in a public match, which I don't advise to ever do in your life, there's always this one guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest trainer, I can train on Area 51 no problem, those dogs don't phase me, I got this. And then he ends up going down, and there's 3 people waiting for him to die on the teleporter, which caused the other people on the teleporter to most likely go down while that guy bleeds out for like 30 seconds. It's just a game over at that point. I usually just back out because people don't understand that you cannot train on Area 51 if you're not good, and especially when you're playing a 4-player game, it's just not going to work out, and it's just going to be game over for you, man. The next comment is from Das Brat, and he said new mistake, steal others' windows in early rounds. So we all have played public match games when this guy runs over to another window and starts killing your zombies after he already killed zombies at his window. There's also people that throw grenades out the window barrier so that they can get kills that you are waiting there for, and that is really, really, really annoying. And I 100% agree with this comment, because that is a new mistake. You need to respect other people's zombies and respect that they need to get points as well. And yeah, that's just being really selfish and definitely a noob mistake. The next comment is from Colton SS1, and he says buying the Shiva. Now, this is kind of a joke, but and at the same time, the Shiva is obsolete. It's like the worst gun in zombies right now, pretty much, besides maybe the MR6. And the Shiva is just awful, man. Like, it's not good at getting headshots once you get past like round 7 or 8. It's just awful, and I 100% agree with this one. Just don't buy the Shiva. Avoid it at all costs. Just use the RK5. It's much better, and it's just way easier to use as well. The next comment is from Danny Argento, and he said, new mistake, having a wonder weapon as your third weapon when you have Mule Kick. Now, this is definitely a big one, because if you have Mule Kick and say you have like the Apothecary Servant upgraded as your Mule Kick weapon and you go down, you're gonna lose it, and that is a big problem if you're going for high rounds or you're trying to do anything, you know, Easter egg related or something like that. Going down with a wonder weapon as your third slot is going to be a big pain in the butt, because then you have to keep hitting the box to get it, which can be very annoying, and that is definitely a new mistake. Never have a wonder weapon as your third Mule Kick weapon. At that point, just don't even buy Mule Kick, or trade in a gun that is in your first or second slot at the Pack-a-Punch, and you just don't grab it from Pack-a-Punch, so you only have 2 weapons. That is pretty much the only thing you can do at that point. All right, guys, the second to last comment is from Ryan Vaughn, and he says, new mistake, picking up nukes on the early rounds. So yes, getting points on early rounds is very important, so you can open doors, buy perks, hit the box, buy guns off the wall, all that sort of stuff. So if you end up picking up nukes on like round 1 or 2, that is pretty much an entire round just wasted, and you're only going to get 400 points for it, or 800 if there's a double points, which usually you're not going to have 2 drops on like round 2. So that is definitely a big mistake. Never get nukes. It's just gonna, you know, make a bad day for you and your teammates, and everyone's gonna be mad at you. All right, guys, the last and final one is kind of a joke, and it's from Epic Thunder, and he said, biggest new mistake, playing Zetsubo no Shima. Now, I am not the biggest fan of this map, but it's still not bad enough to never play it. I just thought this one was pretty funny, and I remember another comment from someone else that was like playing last gen zombies on Black Ops 3, and that is definitely another one. We all know last gen Richtofen is amazing, but at the same time, it's just not ideal. The graphics look awful, and it looks like you're playing like a Minecraft mod pretty much, and then Richtofen's looking like a ghoul from like, I don't know, some Nintendo 64 game. So that is definitely another big mistake. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy this week's episode of the Call of Duty Zombies Top 10. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new, if you haven't done so. And also, guys, make sure to comment down below the hardest Easter egg step in Call of Duty Zombies for next week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in my streams later. Peace out.